Life, for most of us, doesn't look like a dream. It doesn't unfold like we expect. Every day brings a new challenge, a new fight, a new test. From the moment we are born, we are thrust into the chaos of existence. There is no room for comfort. There is no space for avoiding pain. Every part of us is designed to battle through the elements of this world. And it's not an easy fight. Some days it feels like everything is against us. The people we trust let us down. The plans we make fall apart. The dreams we nurture shatter. It feels like the universe has conspired against us, and we are left standing in the cold with no warmth, no shelter, no reprieve. The cold sinks deep into our bones, numbing us from the inside out. The world is unforgiving. People will tell you it's all going to be okay, that everything happens for a reason. They'll try to comfort you with their empty words, telling you that pain is temporary, that the darkness will pass. But here's the truth. Sometimes the darkness feels like it will never end. And sometimes it won't end until you make it end. There are moments in your life when you feel completely powerless, when you feel like there's no escape, no way forward, no way out. The weight of your emotions, your failures, your regrets, and your disappointments bear down on you with the crushing force of an avalanche. You feel suffocated, trapped, as if the cold has taken root inside of you. You want to scream, to run, to escape, but you can't. The cold has you, and it's not letting go. But this is the moment, the exact moment, when you have a choice. You can either let the cold consume you, or you can fight back. It's easy to succumb to despair. It's easy to look at your circumstances and think, what's the point? To question your worth, your abilities, your future. It's easy to let the cold freeze you in place, to believe the lie that you are weak and helpless. But here's the reality. You are not weak. You are not helpless. You are not defeated. You have within you a strength that you have yet to tap into, a fire that has yet to burn. It may be buried beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and pain, but it's there. You have been trained by the very cold that is trying to break you. Every struggle, every setback, every loss has taught you something. It has prepared you for the battle ahead. You are not who you were before the cold. You have been forged in the fire, shaped by the storm. You are stronger than you realize. But in order to awaken that strength, you have to make a choice. You have to choose to stand up, to fight back, to refuse to stay frozen in place. The cold will not leave you unless you force it to. It will not release its grip unless you break free. The question is, will you? In the face of the cold, many of us seek comfort. We want to hide from the pain, the suffering, the chaos. We want a warm, soft space where nothing can hurt us, where we can rest and forget about the battles we're facing. But comfort is a lie. Comfort is what keeps us weak. Comfort is what keeps us from realizing our true potential. Look at the world around you. Look at the people who settle for mediocrity, the ones who have accepted the status quo and decided that they're okay with it. These are the people who avoid the cold. They hide from discomfort. They seek the easy road, the path with no obstacles, no challenges, no growth. But that's not you. You are not meant for comfort. You are meant for greatness, meant to rise above the cold, meant to push through the struggles and come out the other side stronger. Every time you seek comfort, you deny yourself the opportunity to grow, to evolve, to become the person you are destined to be. It is the cold that makes us who we are. It is the pain that shapes our character. It is the suffering that builds our resilience. Without the cold, we would never know what it means to be strong. The people who have faced the greatest adversity, who have conquered their darkest fears, are not the ones who ran from the cold. They are the ones who embraced it, who walked into the storm with their heads held high and their hearts full of determination. They didn't let the cold defeat them. They used it to become stronger, sharper, more resilient. That's what you need to do. I want to talk about something very real here. The darkness inside of you. We all have it. We all carry it, whether we admit it or not. The darkness of doubt, of fear, of insecurity, of shame. We all have moments when we feel completely lost, when we question whether we are good enough, whether we are deserving of success, love, happiness. This darkness, the cold that chills you to your core, is not something to be afraid of. It is something to be confronted. It is something to be faced head on. The more you run from it, the more power it has over you. The more you avoid it, the more it grows. But when you decide to face the darkness, something incredible happens. The cold no longer holds any power over you. You realize that the darkness is not something outside of you. It's a part of you. It's a reflection of your fears, your vulnerabilities, your imperfections. And when you acknowledge it, when you confront it, you strip it of its power. The cold is no longer your enemy. It is a part of who you are, and it can no longer control you. There will come a moment in your life, in the midst of the cold, when you will realize that you are unbreakable. It will come when you're at your lowest point, when the pain feels unbearable, when it seems like there is no way out. It will come when you are tempted to give up, to surrender to the darkness, to let the cold win. And in that moment, you will make a decision. You will either let the cold break you, or you will rise. When you rise, you will know that you have crossed the line. You will know that you have conquered the very thing that was trying to destroy you. And when you rise, you will be stronger than you've ever been before. You will realize that everything you've been through, the pain, the suffering, the losses, was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you for the person you were always meant to be. You will realize that the cold never had the power to break you. Only you had the power to break yourself. And you chose not to. When you finally emerge from the storm, after the cold has stripped you of everything you thought you needed, after the darkness has tested you in ways you never thought possible, you will be standing in a place that's unlike anything you've ever experienced before. It's the calm after the chaos, but this calm is different. It is not a return to what you once knew. It is the beginning of something entirely new. The storm has taken its toll on you. You have seen the worst of yourself, the doubts, the insecurities, the moments when you wanted to give up. You have experienced the depths of pain and loneliness, but you survived. You didn't just endure it, you transformed through it. You became something else in the process, stronger, sharper, unyielding. As the storm clears and the cold lifts, you will see the world in a way that most people never do. You will see the cracks in everything, the brokenness, the imperfection, and you will no longer fear it. In fact, you will embrace it because you know that true strength is not found in perfection. True strength is found in the cracks, in the broken pieces. It's found in the resilience to keep going when everything around you falls apart. It's found in the ability to look at the chaos and say, I am still here. And that is where your purpose will begin to crystallize. Because after all the hardship, after all the suffering, you are now uniquely qualified to rise above it all and guide others through their own storms. Your strength is no longer just for you. It is for everyone who is still caught in the cold, for those who don't yet realize they have the power to rise. You will become the example, the living proof that it's possible to survive the worst of life and come out of it stronger. The purpose you will find is not some abstract concept. It's the living, breathing, beating heart of your experiences, the lessons you learned in the depths of darkness. Your purpose will be the story of your struggle and survival, and it will carry a message to the world. You are not defined by the storm. You are defined by the way you rise from it. When you rise, you don't just walk through life as you did before. You walk with purpose, with meaning, and with an understanding that the struggle is not an obstacle, but a catalyst. The hardships you've faced have not been a hindrance to your success. They have been the driving force behind your transformation. You no longer ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, you ask, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become the person I'm meant to be? You've shed your old self in the process. The person who once feared failure, who once feared the cold, is no longer here. In their place stands a person who has walked through fire and come out of it tempered and unbroken. You have learned to walk through the darkness without losing your way. From this moment forward, you will move through life with a quiet confidence that others may not fully understand. You've seen the worst and survived. You've faced the cold and stood tall. Nothing that comes your way from this point on will ever feel as impossible as it did before. No storm will ever seem too great. No challenge will feel insurmountable. Because you know, deep in your bones, that you are capable of enduring anything. And that, my friend, is the strength found in embracing the cold.